let's take a look at how the Sox have done in close games this year, because that'll determine how they finish up. Through 81 games, in one-run games, well, the record is above 500. That's good. Two-run games, well below 500. Not so good. Three-run games, 4-5. And games decided by 4+ runs, 13 and 17. But 9 of the last 10 games decided by 2 runs or less, which will show you that this team has been in just about each and every game. Unfortunately, 2-7 on this road trip, and Chris Sale is hoping to make up for that today. Adam Eaton is back in the lineup today, and that's a good sign because he lasted just 1 at-bat in the opener. He said that he was listed day-to-day, and as it turned out, it was nothing more than maybe a little bit of inflammation, a little bit of cramping, and when he's at the top, this is a much better ball club. So Toronto comes in a game and a half ahead of Baltimore, 2 games ahead of the Yankees, and they're in first place in the East. Our Sox come in 8.5 games in back of first place Detroit. And that's what the Blue Jays are looking at. Tied in the loss column with the Orioles and the Yankees. They've played 3 and 4 more games respectively. So the Blue Jays take the field, and let's take a look how Robin is going to line up our Sox this afternoon. Adam Eaton leading it off with Gordon Beckham in the 2 spot. Connor Gillespie hitting 3rd with Jose Abreu, who hit a couple of home runs last night. He's in the 4th spot. Then it's Adam Dunn, Diane Viciedo, Alejandro Diaz, Tyler Flowers, Leroy Garcia, and the familiar name you're missing, Alexi Ramirez, not starting today. Defensively, it'll be Cabrera, Rasmus, and Mastroianni in the outfield, with Tollefson, Reyes, Kawasaki, and Encarnacion in the infield. Deanna Navarro once again behind the plate, and Marcus Stroman on the hill. He's listed at 5'9". He's actually 5'8". But he throws the ball very hard. His fastball will get upwards of 96 miles an hour. And there you look at the numbers at 4-2. His ERA is up there. He's a very young pitcher. He was drafted in the 1st round by these Blue Jays. And when you're 5'8", drafted in the 1st round, you have to have a strong arm. He's got a particularly good curveball, and we should be seeing a lot of that this afternoon. The umpires for the game today: Jim Reynolds behind the plate. Brian Knight is at first. The crew chief, Fielden Culbreth, is at second. And Manny Gonzalez is at third. So the ball will be a little more lively during the daytime. It's not overly warm, but it is ideal for baseball. As the 3rd game of this 4-game series about ready to unfold. And Stroman has taken his warm-up pitches. In talking with a few of the guys about Stroman, they said he believes that he's good. And, of course, if you don't believe it, nobody else will, so that's of critical importance. They've thrown the ball around the infield, which means we're ready to play baseball, and I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
Hi, Stevie. Thank you. And once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. So happy you could join us for Game 3 of this 4-game set. Before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. As Adam Eaton gets set to lead it off. And the first pitch of the ball game is taken high and wide. Yeah, they tell me, talking with Buck Martinez, Pat Towler, to announcers, former players, former manager, this guy thinks he ought to win every time he goes out there, which is the right attitude. Out of Duke University.
You don't have that attitude, you're not going to be successful in any league, but especially the major league.
Well, that's just the way he is, they say. It's not that he's real cocky. He's not. He's just very confident. And that is certainly a big attribute. That old saying, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right either way.
You see him listed at 5'9". That's a little overly ambitious.
But Adam hitting at 283. Sox hitting at 254 as a team with a 4.40 team ERA. Lays off that quick breaking ball. And here at the Rogers Center, 328 down the lines, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straight away center. That one at 94.
And regardless of what happens with this at bat, Adam is going to see 3 pitches.
Ball hit sharply, sucked up by Reyes.
By 3 pitches, I meant He saw the straight change, he saw the curveball, and he saw the fastball, and he's got two different kinds. So when you see their whole repertoire and the guys on the bench are looking at it, that's what the leadoff hitter wants to do.
So here's Gordon, 2 for 7 in the series, comes in hitting at .261, 7 homers and 23 driven in. None of our guys have ever seen Stroman from 60 feet 6 inches. Youngster out of Medford, New York.
He actually has both a slider and a cutter, which is most unusual to go with a curveball. You're not going to have all three on the same day. The fact that you have those 3 pitches, however, allows you to pick out 2 of them and use them.
The shades of Javi Vasquez.
Yeah, the question is, if he shows them all, to everybody, then he probably won't be near as effective as it appears he's going to be.
Fouls that one back. Gillespie on deck. These two teams met 7 times last year. We won 4 of the 7. And if you're just tuning in, this is the 3rd game of this 4-game series, and we have split the first 2. There's a souvenir right side on a breaking pitch. Yeah, if you got a good curveball, cutter, and slider, these guys that just keep coming up with more and more pitches.
You get them all over the plate, and you're in great shape.
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing.
And at 2-2, we'll see how much confidence he has in the curveball, because he's running up there 95, 96 miles an hour for the fastball. Adam Eaton saw 1 curveball, and it looked really good.
He did not go on that curveball. So a full count. Got in good pitch. So right now let's check out our picks to click this afternoon. Jim Angio, our director and crew. Going with Gillespie. Steve's going with Adam Eaton. And Tony Saldana and I. We're going to go with the Yuri Garcia. As here is Gillespie. Corner hitting at .321, no homers, 27 knocked in. This guy really has got to be. I was anxious to see him after reading his resume. Just 17 decisions in the minor leagues, 12-5 in those.
Well, when you got that kind of an arm, and obviously I'm partial to the smaller pitchers, but when you're drafted number 1, the 22nd pick in the draft, you better have something special if you're 5'8".
Well, the first thing that popped out at me was he's got to be something out of like Tom Gordon, as that ball hit hard. But watch out, got a collision. Rasmus pulls on to it, and that'll retire the side. 1-2-3 inning after half inning of play. It's our guys nothing, and their guys coming to bat.
Toronto Blue Jays, it's Reyes, Cabrera, and Encarnacion at the top with Navarro, Glenn, and Tollefson in the middle. Rasmus, Mastroianni, and Kawasaki round it out. The defense, and now they'll line up behind Chris Sale in the outfield, Biazzi, Eaton, and Viciedo in the infield. Gillespie, Garcia, Beckham, and Abreu. Tyler Flowers with the nod behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Chris Sale. Sale on for his 12th start. He's 6-1. His ERA a paltry 2.27. He's been terrific, and left-handers hitting 0.98.
First pitch strike to one of 3 switch hitters in this lineup: Reyes, Cabrera, and Navarro. Reyes 4 for 10 in the series. All 4 of those hits coming in game 1. Blue Jays come in hitting at 261 as a team. Yeah, that's a can of corn for our guy with a 4.09 ERA. Well, 23-19 here at home and 22-18 on the road. So they've been a good, solid ball club, even though they've had a lot of injuries.
Melky, another switch hitter, and a good one. He's also much better left-handed than right. You have to have some communication. If you don't, bad things might happen. And Mastroianni, in a collision with Rasmus, who looked at him as if to say, wait, I'm the captain, you're the right fielder. Mastroianni has played some center field, but not today, and he had to give way, and they avoided a nastier collision.
That breaking ball down in the end, got plenty of time. Takes it, makes it. He gone. 2 down.
Last time out, Chris had some problems with the slider, but that time, that slider must have broken 2 feet. And Cabrera, after seeing 95 up in his eyes, had absolutely 0 chance at that ball.
I had an interesting conversation with a friend of mine I hadn't talked to in a while last night. And he was saying, Huck, I heard you say the other day that hitting today is harder than it's ever been. And explain why, because, and he was a player, there's a base hit by Encarnacion. He was a player, and I never got to the big leagues, but he was a player. And I told him, he said, well, they had a lot of 20-game winners back in those days. I said, yeah, they sure did. And I said, the mindset was entirely different. The culture of the game was entirely different. Back in those days, you're going to face those guys 3 or 4 times in a game. Today, you're liable to face that guy on the mound who's going to start the game maybe once, maybe twice. And then when you get to the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, you're going to be seeing anywhere from 95 to 100, 101 coming in from that bullpen from 3 different guys. It's just a different game today. And this road trip has illustrated what we've been talking about, for the last 20 years. It's become a battle of bullpens. It's just that simple.
If you don't get it done out of the pen, there's nothing that takes the heart out of a ball club more quickly than battling for 6, 7, 8 innings. You got the lead, you've done everything, and all of a sudden the bullpen comes in. And it's different guys in the bullpen. They come in, they don't hold the lead, you wind up losing the game. That is very difficult for a baseball team to swallow, but it happens a lot.
Sure it does.
Now, on the real good teams, it doesn't happen near as much because most of them have that definitive closer. And Robin said before the game today that there is no definitive closer.
There are a lot of teams that don't have the lockdown.
Nope.
There are a lot. They're not Mariano
No,
Rivera's around. And that's one reason I picked Kansas City this year in this thing, because of their bullpen.
And because of Holland at the end, who is a definitive closer.
Not just because of him, because of the 7th inning, the 8th inning, and then Holland in the 9th.
They have Herrera. Crow's pretty good. They lost Hochevar, but Wade Davis stepped into that position and gave them that guy to get the ball to Holland. And they've been pretty tough. That being said, they can't hit the ball out of the ballpark, which is why they're in second place.
Well, if Detroit doesn't fix that bullpen, they're liable to be in second place by the time this thing is over. Because they just sent down Collins, too, so he's been having trouble. When they bring that little hard-throwing left-hander back, once he gets straightened out, that's just going to enhance their bullpen a little even more.
And Joe Nathan's ERA is way up there. It's up over 7. Detroit looking for whatever help they can find. You'd have to figure they would probably go out there to make a deal.
Well, that's the thing about it. Who's going to deal their stuff? Who's going to deal their good bullpen guys? Nobody. They're not, unless they just want to give away everything they've got.
Well, I was going to say, you look at the also-ran teams when you get down the last month before the trading deadline, and you see, do they have anybody in their pen that can be an upgrade? And, of course, it's going to cost you. I mean, right now, those also-ran teams are taking a look at every top prospect you have on the contending teams and saying, okay, well, sure, I'll be more than happy to make a deal. Give me your 2 and your 3 prospect.
Yeah, and that's what it's going to cost if you intend to get any bullpen help.
Tigers' bullpen earned run average is 4.70, which is the worst in the major leagues, and shows you why it's only 3.5 games. If that had been any semblance of a lockdown bullpen, it would be substantially higher than that.
So here's Glenn. Brad Glenn, the DH. Started last night's game in right field. That was his major league debut last evening.
He hit .235 in Double-A. Got to Triple-A, where he hit .381. And he did it because he's taken the off-speed pitch to right and right center field.
Big hack at that changeup.
Of course, Chris does not have the normal off-speed pitch. He's got one of the best straight changes in all of baseball.
And that's popped up. Watch out. Get out of the way. Okay. And that'll retire the side. Nothing across. It was a hit. A walk. 2 left after 1, no score. Dan Hayes and his remarks on the bullpen.
Thanks, Hawk. It's been the focal point of this 2-7 road trip, and for the most part, a lot of this season. But once again, the microscope is on the White Sox bullpen after Friday night. Earlier today, Robin Ventura said that he was going to reorganize the bullpen. They're going to take the 9th inning, the 7th inning, the 8th inning, and kind of mix it all up. Ronald Belisario will still pitch in key situations, but that does not include the 9th inning. Aside from that, though, that's about the only certainty that there is within this situation. I don't know if it's because they're trying to avoid doing a bullpen, a closer tryout each week, or if it's just because they don't know. But right now, the White Sox, the certainty in that 9th inning is not there. So that could mean that we could see Eric Surkamp like we did last night. We could see Jacob Petrichka, Zach Putnam, Javi Guerra. It could be a cast of characters basically until they kind of figure out what they have. Guys?
All right, Dan, thank you very much. Good stuff on the bullpen. And here's Abreu. 3 for 7 in the series with a couple of home runs, those coming last night. He's on a 12-game hitting streak. Anytime you hear a team say that they're going to go by committee, you know they got a problem. And there's no secret that we do have a problem. You know, we've got good arms out there, but that's just not all it takes to have a good bullpen. It takes a little more than that. It takes a mindset, an attitude. And we've got a good bullpen coach in Bobby Thigpen. Bobby did not have a overwhelming stuff, and yet for years carried the American League record for saves. He'd go out there with nothing and still get 3 outs. Now, it might be a little exciting, like we've seen on this road trip.
This has been a little too exciting.
It has been. You're talking about turning your hair white.
or gray. Quickly.
And there's a chopper 2 hopper to Reyes. That ball had a ton of top spin. Almost got away from it. Meanwhile, 1 out. So they're going to put the shift on as Tollison now moves from third out to short right field. And here's Adam, 1 for 3 in the series. Adam hitting at .230, 12 homers, 33 knocked in.
Well, it's interesting because of what type of third baseman you have and what type of shortstop you have. Baltimore, for instance, Manny Machado actually moved to the shortstop position, but he was a lifetime shortstop before he moved to third. But here, they put Tollison out in right field in the second base position.
And there's a shot down into the corner. So the big man's going to make the turn. He'll cruise on into second base. You can cancel a post-game show. That's his 12th two-bagger in our first hit.
He got what appeared to be a cutter because that wasn't his best fastball. That was 91. And if you're going to throw a cutter, you better make sure you get it inside. Adam was able to get the good part of the bat on it and take it right down the line.
Big hack by Viciedo. Tank 1 for 8 in the series. That was an opposite field homer last evening. It's just nice to sit here and think, though, even as tough as this trip has been record-wise, we've been, with the exception of the first game here, we've been in almost every game.
Look,
and that's the whole thing. You know, we've been in this year almost every game. There's only been a few games we've been out of, as that's a ground ball to right side. So 2 down.
Well, you talked about the first game, and there was no chance in that because Jay Happ had great stuff. It was a 7-0 game, but that's the only game in the last 10 that wasn't decided by 1 or 2 runs. And when you are there, and this team is good enough to play close games each and every time, that's when, if you make a physical mistake, if you make a mental mistake, that's what does you in those games. And that's something that if you can avoid those games that you were close but lost, turn around in the second half of the season, there's still half the season to go.
Well, nobody's going to run away with it. Nobody. Even Kansas City with that bullpen they got, they're not going to run away with it. Detroit's not going to run away because they don't have a bullpen. But what the good thought that I was getting to was the fact that with Jones and we've got Nate And when these guys get back to the bullpen, hopefully they will. Hopefully they will. Then we have got a pretty good situation. Matt Lindstrom.
I'm not sure we're going to be able to get Matt back.
I know it. That's the reason I didn't come right out with him.
But Nate, we got a chance to get back and still be productive the rest of the year.
Encarnacion with a nice pick, a nice play. Didn't bobble it, so that saves a run. Meanwhile, after an inning and a half, no score.
Miller Lite.
And Opa, Sox fans, you can come to the ballpark decked out in white and blue, Greek flags, or even traditional Greek costumes for Greek Heritage Night on Tuesday, July 22nd. And our Sox are offering specially priced tickets to everyone with Greek heritage, their family and friends. Tickets start at $10 for lower level seats. So to purchase, visit whitesox.com/GHN. It'll be Tollison, Rasmus, and Mastroianni. Darren Mastroianni is called up.
He has played in 8 previous games this year for the Blue Jays and 0 for 13. So the bottom part from 5 to 9, only Rasmus has been productive.
Well, as we were talking about before the game started, this is a good lineup as far as for Chris. If we can stay away from Encarnacion and he can beat Chris.
Yep.
So there's the leadoff single.
Usually a pitcher is going to pick one guy in the lineup and he's going to say to himself, regardless of the situation, you can't allow this guy to beat you. And with Bautista out of the lineup for the 3rd straight game, against us at least, Encarnacion's the guy.
Well, when you stick Bautista in that lineup, it changes the whole personality.
Yeah, he's pretty destructive.
Yeah.
Mastroianni likes to run, which means he can be picked off. It's Tollison, excuse me. He's getting a pretty decent lead. And Chris has one of the best moves in the league.
Rasmus 1 for 5. That was a pinch hit home run last night. There's a slider strike. Yeah, I'll never forget that shot he hit that almost absolutely did. Handcuff. Oh boy. Our center fielder. Talking about what he says. He can't get that one. And the count 0-2.
When we came in, John Gibbons mentioned that he thought there was a decent enough chance Bautista would be able to play on Saturday and Sunday. But that's not the case, and of course our pitching staff doesn't miss him.
Two and two the count. Close pitch, didn't get it. So he had him 0-2. He gone. He knew it. One out.
Chris used his slide step, and it could very well be that disrupted the rhythm of Rasmus. He took a fastball that had the whole plate. Didn't use the high leg kick, and so it's a big strikeout.
Softly hit. Gets the out at first. 2 down. Remember that shot I was talking about, Bautista?
Well, it went out like a knuckleball. I mean, it was hit so hard.
It just handcuffed him in center field. A one hopper.
Yep. I do.
Kawasaki. He's 3 for 7 in the series. He has faced Chris twice, and he's 0 for 2.
It's going to go as a pass ball on Tyler Flowers. Slider that he reached out and just missed it.
Takes that fastball at 95. And the count 1-2. He gone. And that'll retire the side. Third strikeout for Chris. And we're into the third.
And photo for a chance to have it shown on our broadcast later in the game. It's brought to you by AT&T.
Top of the third inning, Flowers, Garcia, Liuri, then back to the top of the order with Adam Eaton to face Marcus Stroman, 23-year-old right-hander out of Duke University. First pitch strike.
Pretty good slider on the outside corner, and when you keep it there, when it's low and away, you have just a sliver of the plate. Not much a right-hand hitter can do with that.
Tries to ace him and he just misses.
Well, I think Tyler caught a break here. Take a look at where Menard's pitch tracks winds up. Could have gone either way. It went Tyler's way.
Second strikeout for Stroman.
Here's the curveball, and it is a late breaking, very sharp curveball.
And that is Souvenir left side. Liuri hitting at 203. 0 for 8 in the series.
He got a hole in one last night, but unfortunately hit it to the wrong part of the ballpark. And for the little men, when you flirt with center field or just left of center, as this one went, this is a big place.
That's a bad call.
High fastball, and Navarro yanks it back. Whenever a catcher does that, he's pretty much telling you that he doesn't think it was a strike. When catchers think it's a strike, they're going to frame it for you. If he gets ahead and throws that curveball, there's not many hitters going to do much with this. This is down and drops out of sight. So as long as he has that in his arsenal, he got a chance to win a lot of games in the major leagues.
Well, he reminds me a lot of Tom Gordon.
He had a 12. Tom had a 12-6. That's straight over the top
his
and
curveball's
straight
not
down.
as good as Gordon.
No, that was
Gordon had one of the
unbelievable.
best curveballs in the game.
Yeah. And he's proven to have good genes.
Oh.
Because D plays
Nick
with the Dodgers, and he keeps stealing all kinds of bases. And Nick was a first-round high draft pick.
Ball hit sharply once again. About a 1-2-3 inning. After 2.5, still scoreless.
The Sox are back in Chicago taking on the Angels, where they posted a 21-18 record at U.S. Cellular Field. Coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. with White Sox pregame live presented by Lexus of Orland. It's White Sox Angels Tuesday at 6:30 on Comcast Sportsnet.
So here's Jose Reyes. He popped up. Adam Eaton in center field. Get foul. Get foul. It will. Thank you very much. Chases that one. Good movement on that change.
Reyes has not been able to stay back on anybody's changeup in the series.
There you go. 4th strikeout.
This time, just in case he might be looking for a change, he throws 95 high and away and throws it right by him.
There's a strike to Cabrera, who struck out on the slider, down and in. That's looped out into right field. We got a man there. Two out.
And if Chris has his way, he's just going to get it and throw it. Because when he gets in a rhythm, he doesn't miss with very many pitches.
Goes back to that old mantra: if you're going to get beat in a hurry. Which is gone by the boards.
Yeah, you don't find many guys who have that philosophy these days.
Well, we're going to see one tomorrow.
Mr. Mark.
Mark Burley against Arcantana.
10 wins and at least 200 innings pitched in 13 straight seasons. He's already gotten to 10 wins. Now he has to get to 200 innings pitched, and you figure he's going to do that because he makes every start.
Three and one. Encarnacion has slashed a single in the right field his first at bat. Change up.
Great straight change because he's looking fastball all the way. Tyler called it. Chris never hesitated, threw it in a perfect spot. And Encarnacion, no chance here.
Very close.
Well, Chris is thinking here, look, this is a guy I'm not going to let beat me, so I'll throw it on the outside corner. If he can take it out the opposite way, well, let him do it. If not, I'll just put him at first. That ball was an iota off the plate. A good patience by Encarnacion.
Navarro takes a strike. He walked. Back in the first inning. Nice crowd on hand on just a gorgeous afternoon here in Toronto.
That was an interesting swing.
That's a good changeup swing. You see that swing, you know somebody has thrown you a pretty good changeup.
That's a two-parter. That you start out, oops, not a fastball, and then you figure, well, I'm there. I'm there. I might as well go through with it.
And that's right back. And while we have a moment, I want to send out a big happy birthday to Darryl Vinscower. Good friend and terrific writer. He's the White Sox beat writer for the Sun-Times. From all of us, all of his colleagues in the beat, and also the Sox Media Relations Department. Happy birthday, Darryl.
He also shares a birthday with Mr. James Angio.
Yes. We're going to get to that in later innings. There, he just ate him up. And Gordon make a Billy Martin type dive right there to make the catch. That'll retire the side. Into the fourth, no score.
Stats, play predictions, and follow all the action with White Sox in-game live on CSNChicago.com. It's brought to you by Comcast Business Class. Here's our Xfinity high-speed action replay, and it is Gordon Beckham flashing across to take this little looper and turn it into an out, denying a very dejected Deanna Navarro.
And here's Gordon to lead off the inning. And I mentioned that Billy Martin catch. Billy Martin made one similar to that to save a World Series. Billy Martin, second baseman for the Yankees. Later became a great manager in the game of baseball.
In a lot of different places.
Yeah. Billy was a great manager. That's out of play. And the funny thing about it was Billy would tell you the smartest baseball guy that he ever knew, and with the best baseball mind, was Mickey Mantle.
Did he ever have the desire to manage?
No. I tell you, in 1975, We were down in the Dominican La Romana, which is Encarnacion's hometown, playing in the golf tournament during the World Series. That was the Red Sox and the Reds. And Mickey and I were sitting at the bar watching the game, and it was all in Spanish, of course. And to hear him slice and dice the game was just incredible. Also had one of the greatest comedic minds you ever want to see. But he had to be in his environment, had to be comfortable with his surroundings, with who was there. There's a nice pick by Tollison. Peg, one out. So here's Gillespie. He has the hardest hit ball outside of Dunn's double. He barreled up another one, this time to right center field. It was caught by Rasmus in a collision, semi-collision with Mastroianni. First pitch strike. Right at the bottom of the zone. Abreu on deck. Two down. Seal. Diaz have probably got him. Yes, here's Abreu. He grounded out to Reyes. Kessler, this is going to be a fun team to watch. Get some of our guys back, namely Garcia.
Well, he might have the confidence now that he can throw the ball consistently by Abreu. If he does, that'll be playing right into the hands of Jose. But at 23 years old, and that's all he is, you got a lot of late life on a 95er.
Two and two. It's full. Well, I faced a guy not much bigger than Strowman, who they consider to be the hardest thrower in the history of the game, Steve Dalkowski.
He was a lefty.
Short arm and left hand. High pop up. And that'll retire the side. That's the 1-2-3 inning. It's 8 in a row retired by Strowman. July 21st. Now the first 1,000 fans to purchase tickets will receive a White Sox ugly Christmas t-shirt. Also, there will be holiday drinks for adults at the Comcast Xfinity Zone and Miller Lite Bullpen Sports Bar. Tickets start at just $15 for lower level seats. So to purchase, visit whitesox.com/Xmas.
Well, eventually, Avaseo will figure it out. But in the meantime, he has a new addition to his cap.
Here's Brad Glenn. Takes first pitch strike. He fouled out to Abreu. Oh, and 2.
There's only been 3 hits in this game combined, as both pitchers have been dominant.
Well, there's some good stuff out on that mound on both sides. You can throw 95 with a good changeup and a good breaking ball. Somebody's in trouble. So far, our hitters, both sides, have been in trouble.
Yeah, it makes it pretty hard to guess with you.
Two and 2. Change up. He gone. 5 strikeouts.
Supreme confidence in any count to throw a changeup, and that's what makes Chris Sale as tough as he is. 5 Ks and the 2 walks.
Here is Tolleson. That's a little pop-up flare into right field. So he's now 1 for 2. He had a solid single to the center back in the second inning. And you can provide your guests with the ultimate all-inclusive White Sox experience in the home plate club or Magellan Scout seats. Now, these 2 premium seating areas are the best way to entertain your most important clients, your employees, your friends, or your family. So for more information, 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com/premium seating. Rasmus called out on a fastball strike. Left-handers really have a tough time. I guess the right-handed equivalent would have been a guy named Jim Bunning. He used to pitch. I think he's maybe the only guy that ever won 100 games in each league. He was tough to hit at. I mean, really tough to hit at. And he would hit you.
I think there's been a few that won 100 in each league, but Milt Pappas, by the way, wound up 1 game short in the National League.
Bunning hit 160 guys, which is 13th all time.
Well, he took the inside part of the plate seriously. It was his. And Rasmus gets a break because I'm not sure that he was going to do much hitting against Chris.
Maybe Bunning was the first guy.
Might have been. I think Gaylord probably did that. I think.
Dave Ross will find out for us if Gaylord did it. I know he had a couple of 20-win seasons in the American League.
Yeah, won the Cy. He was a good one.
Yeah, boy, that spitter he had was unique.
One of the great ones of all time.
Yeah, he won 100 in both leagues. First time I faced him in spring training, it was funny because he threw me that spitter, and I backed out of the box, and he looked at me and smiled. Checks it up. Boy, those guys had Gaylord, Juan Marshall. Man. Had a left-hander named Mike McCormick. Soft tosser, but he'd get you out. Two out. Mastroianni grounded softly to Beckham. Outfield slightly to the right. And the count evens at 2.
Well, there's a guy looking forward to his next at bat against Chris Sale, because swinging and missing a fastball for strike 3, he fell down in the batter's box.
Cues that one right off the end of the bat. Changeup. Another changeup. And once again the payoff. That tripled him up, and that ball's hit hard. It is 2-0 Toronto.
First hit of the year is a Blue Jay, a Ford home run replay. It's a changeup, and this time Mastroianni waits back, keeps his hands back, and unloads on it. First home run, first 2 driven in. First hit.
Throwing 3 in a row. Kawasaki struck out. Oh, 0-2 the count.
That's the fastest fastball Chris has thrown today at 97.
I think he's a little hot.
Yep.
So the third changeup in a row went out of here, and they lead it 2-0. Inning, it'll be Dunn, Viciedo, and Diaza to face Marcus Stroman, 23-year-old out of Medford, New York. Adam 1 for 1, a double. That's our only hit. Just blistered it down into the right field corner with 1 out in the 2nd inning. Two and 0. Outfield straight up and bunched just a bit. And the count 3-0. There's one. And there is the leadoff walk. First walk issued by Stroman. And a reminder, all season long you score with Papa John's Pizza. Now when our Sox score 5 or more runs, which we did last night, you get 50% off your entire online order at papajohns.com with the promo code SOX5 the following day. So better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Tank takes strike 1. One and two.
Reached back, got a high fastball, kept it on the inner portion and threw it right by Tank.
He knew it.
That time just outguessed him because that fastball was right down the middle, but it was at 96. See, when a catcher knows it's a strike, he's just going to sit there and frame it. He's not going to bring it back, take it down, bring it up. That'll tell you that the catcher knows it was a good pitch and he wants the umpire to get a look at it.
Diaza hit a soft ground ball in the hole first, between first and second. Encarnacion made a nice play on. 2 out, Dunn was at third. If he bobbles it at all, we pick up a run.
Alejandro has been hot. Last 19 games, 373. He's driven in 8, scored 9. So he's been very good.
Three and 0. Flowers on deck.
What a break there, as that ball might have slipped off the outside corner.
94-mile-an-hour fastball and a full count.
Strike him out, pickle him out, and that'll retire the set. We're halfway home. We trail it 2-0. Bottom of the fifth inning in a 2-0 Toronto lead. 2-run homer by Darren Mastroianni. Be top of the order for the Blue Jays: Reyes, Cabrera, and Encarnacion. Reyes has popped to center and struck out. Two and 0 the count. Reyes, a terrific talent. He'll be 31 in 2 days. And Adam is there for out number 1.
Well, Toronto got Reyes and Mark Burley in a cost-cutting measure that the Miami Marlins decided to send long-term deals, big contracts up here north of the border, and Toronto was more than happy to make that deal. They got some good players and were able to completely retool in one trade.
Cabrera struck out and looped out to right. Cues that one off the end of the bat. Well, they are just ecstatic, of course, with Burley and Reyes.
And they got Josh Johnson and Emilio Bonifacio along with John Buck.
Well, if Reyes stays healthy, they can win this division. If he doesn't, they probably won't.
That's the only thing that's ever been able to stop him over the course of his career.
Sharply hit. 2 down. That'll be Encarnacion, who has singled sharply into right field and walked. Burley with one more year on the contract. Edwin takes down low. Other action today will show Cleveland at Seattle. Detroit taking on the Astros, who won an exciting game last night from the Tigers. Castro with a homer. Angels at Kansas City. Texas hosting Minnesota. Nasty Nats taking on the Cubs. At Wrigley, no score that game in the top of the 6th. 2-1. Phillies leading Atlanta 1-0, top of the 2nd at Citizens Bank. That's a doubleheader at Wrigley today. And the count 3-1. That sweeping breaking pitch.
He's been very careful, and justifiably so, with Encarnacion. Threw him a 3-1 changeup last time before missing with the 3-2 fastball just off the outside corner.
And he walks him again.
It's 4 walks by Chris. It's the most walks he's had in any start this year. So after giving up the most hits in any start last time out, but only 2 runs, this time 4 walks, but only 2 runs to this point.
Navarro has walked and hit a little looper out that Beckham had to come in and dive to make a catch. Takes ball 1. And that's popped up Beckham a long way to go. He gets there. And that'll retire the side. So we have completed 5 and we trail it 2-0. 18th. Well, that's Rat Pack night, so you can come see our Sox take on the Astros at 7:10, and all fans are invited to stay for a post-game fireworks show presented by Beggar's Pizza. So purchase tickets today by visiting WhiteSox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. Flowers, Garcia, then back to the top of the order with Adam Eaton here in the top of the 6th inning. We trail it 2-0.
So far, we haven't seen any drop-off in stuff from Stroman.
This is some of the best right-handed stuff we've seen all year. One pitch, one out.
So far, the day of Marcus Stroman has been pretty good. He's got a few of the hitters looking at the fastball. His curveball is unhittable if he gets ahead. And because he's got 4 or 5 different pitches, he's awfully tough. He's given up just the 1 hit. That the double by Dunn. 1 walk, 5 Ks. Pretty much a dominant performance to this point.
Well, they better think about beating him on his fastball.
We're not going to hit his curveball at all. Maybe he'll hang one of those sliders or cutters.
He did go, says Manny Gonzalez. And talking about that, interesting piece by Anthony Castrovins, MLB.com, on the relationship as he gets him on a high heater. He gets the relationship between, we've been talking about how there seems to be less confrontations with the umpires. Actually, the ejections this year are up more than last year. Through June 25th last year, there were 83 ejections. This year they have been 107. But the system is working because there have also been 282 decisions overturned.
Well, you figure that's going to happen, and the reason is simple. I mean, the umpires are making the call in real time. It's always a bang-bang play, and sometimes they're in position, sometimes they're not in the best position to make the call. When you get to slow it down infinitesimally, you can see exactly what happened, and so they do overturn calls. The object is to just get it right, and that's what replay does.
That's why it's working. I think that they are probably past that initial, as there's a line drive into right field, and that's caught by Mastroianni. So Adam Eaton's hit the ball sharply 3 times today. Meanwhile, he's 0 for 3, and we'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Desire to be active and continue doing the things you love. So visit athletico.com and start defining your pain-free inner athlete today. Athletico, the official physical therapy provider of our White Sox. Athletico, better for everybody.
Well, I've got some time after the game. Maybe I'll take a trip up there and join the boys. They always look pretty good in red.
They don't have enough money in Fort Knox to get you up there.
You might have a point there. I'm on the second floor. I start to worry.
Brad Glenn. First ball, Hunting. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Red Sox called up a very good young player and a guy that they're going to give every opportunity to. His name is Mookie Betts. And between Double and Triple A, he was hitting .345, 48 runs batted in, 29 steals and 34 attempts. He's been an infielder, but they're probably going to play him in the outfield. And there's so many good young players coming into the game. It's outstanding to watch him. This guy's 21 years old. He reached base 66 consecutive games, A-ball and Double A, last year and this year.
Well, that's what bodes so well for baseball.
Yep.
Our great game with a great talent. Baseball is built on great talent and great rivalries and tradition. That's what it's built on. And we're getting some great talent coming into this game. Vigo. 2 down. And that'll bring up Rasmus, who has struck out and walked. Yeah, when you start getting talents like we're getting now, they're just fun to watch. Getting better and better.
We're going to get a chance to see him because after this brief 6-game homestand, we are going to head to Boston for 4, 7th through the 10th of July. Then it's on to Cleveland for 3, and somewhat amazingly, the All-Star break. And it has gotten here relatively quickly.
Two and 0 the count to Rasmus. Took that pitch exactly the way he should have. Two and 1. Yeah, when you get a tough guy out there, you're better off just looking at 1 or 2. Don't even move. Just watch the ball. You might be limiting yourself to just 1 strike, but it's better than the alternative. As the count, and keep going back to a guy who did that as good as anybody I've ever seen, Thurman Munson.
For 1 year, he struck out, I think, 36 or 38 times in 630-some at bats, so he wasn't worried about taking pitches. He knew that he could make contact. He was just waiting for the pitcher to make a mistake.
Oh, what a great clutch hitter he was.
Yep.
You could tell the way he was swinging the bat by the way he took the pitch.
My college roommate, my college catcher, and what a player.
That's a 5th walk issued by Chris. Twice to a left-handed hitter, Rasmus, and that'll bring up Mastroianni, who hit a changeup out of here for a 2-run homer.
Chris is very unhappy with himself because of that walk to Rasmus.
That's into right field. That fastball at 95. And we'll go to the 7th. It is still 2-0. get access to unique social media contests and special giveaways by purchasing Sox Social tickets. So visit whitesox.com/Sox Social today.
That what bodes well for Marcus Stroman. He faced the Yankees twice in the period of 6 days. The first time he faced them, he went 3 2/3, walked 3, gave up 4 hits, got knocked out in the 4th inning, gave up a couple of runs. So he has a quick turnaround, faces them again, and throws his best game as a professional major league pitcher. 8 innings, 3 hits, and 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. And that's when they were familiar with him, and he was familiar with them.
Well, as I said, this is some of the best right-handed stuff we've seen all year. And if you're just tuning in, he's faced 20 guys. He's retired 18 of them. He's retired 18 out of 20. We've only stranded 1 guy. We've only had 2 base runners. So that'll show you how dominant he has been. The only base run we has been Adam Dunn twice, that double, and then that leadoff walk in the 5th. So here's Gillespie. 0 for 2.
He's got one of the harder curveballs around. He's thrown it anywhere from 80 to 83 miles an hour. It's a short, quick, late breaker. There you look at some very impressive numbers. And this is his 6th major league start. 5th quality start.
Reyes. 2 down. Yeah, you can definitely see why he was drafted #1 by the Blue Jays.
Got some pretty good athletic ability. Was a terrific basketball player in high school.
Abreu has grounded to short and popped up to center field. Yeah, Scherzer, when he shut us out, had great stuff that day. Outside of that, this is just about as good as we've seen. 0-2.
Well, the ability to get all of his pitches over the plate has set him apart from a lot of other young guys with great arms and great stuff. They'll fall behind a lot. He hasn't done that today.
Well, he's got great mound presence too, like Tom Gordon did. They just expected to get you out. And Buck Martinez, one of the TV announcers for the Blue Jays, emphasized how he just felt like, I'm good and I'm better than you and I'm going to beat you.
He's exhibited that today. That time was the first time where he might have been showing a bit of fatigue, only in that he got under his fastball for one of the few times. Navarro wanted it up in the zone and he got under it and left it way away.
That ball's hit hard. They're not going to catch that one. So he continues his hitting streak to 13 now, but more importantly, we got the tying run coming to the plate.
Well, he missed with the fastball, and then Navarro gave him a fastball, gave him the fist pump, telling me, go back and get it. Well, the problem is, if you try it in the zone a couple times in a row, Jose is going to make that adjustment, and he crushes this ball, winds up in scoring position. 17th double of the year.
And here comes Pete Walker, pitching coach.
Both bullpens with activity. Javi Guerra in the Sox bullpen, and Walker is out there to kill some time for the Blue Jays bullpen. Dustin McGowan, who we've seen in this series, only we saw him ever so briefly, a third of an inning in relief of Jay Happ in the opener, and he got the job done.
Looks at that changeup downstairs. And with that ringing double in the second inning in the right field corner.
Well, this will be an interesting pitch because he's handled Viciedo twice easily. He's in the on-deck circle. He hasn't handled Dunn at all, and he's behind 2-0. Let's see if Walker told him maybe pitch around this guy and take your chances with Viciedo. They threw a fastball down the middle and down. That was
came right at him.
That was an Adams sweet spot.
Yeah, I mean, he came right at him. He's really impressive.
Navarro wanted that one on the outside corner, and Stroman got it down the middle.
There was a change-up, and it counts 3-1. Yeah, to me, he's the most impressive young pitcher we've seen all year. He's no fun to hit at, but you got to beat him on his fastball. Another changeup, and Adam walks for the second time. Only 2 walks issued by Stroman, and that'll bring up Viciedo, and that's exactly what Pete Walker had mentioned. And here comes Gibby Cagney.
Well, there's a lot of managers that feel with young pitchers that you don't let them lose a game when they've been terrific, and that's exactly what happened. So as Stroman strolls out, we'll stroll out and be back after these messages. Bad on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replays, scores, stats, audio, and free MLB TV Game of the Week, and more. Download on the App Store or visit WhiteSox.com today. That brings in Dustin McGowan. And he's going to face Dan Viciedo. Runners at first and second. 2 outs here in the 7th inning. There you look at the numbers. On for the 25th time. A 4-2 record. ERA 3.86. And he's allowed 7 homers. And that is a lot. The youngster, Marcus Stroman, very impressive. But his responsibility, the 2 men on. Viciedo 0 for 2. Strikeout and a ground out. Hit that ball deep to left field, and that's gone. Home run, Dan Viciedo. It's a 3-2 lead. First pitch from McGowan out of the ballpark. That's home run number 8. RBIs 25, 26, and 27. And that ball was up in the zone, and a no-doubter as Cabrera takes 2 steps, just looks up, and our Ford home run replay, that's a hanging curveball. And not much doubt about that one. So just like that, the Sox have a 3-2 lead. And it brings up Alejandro Diaza. Looks at a fastball for a strike, and you close the book on Marcus Stroman at 6 2/3. Charged with 2 runs on 2 hits with 2 walks and 6 strikeouts, and he will get a no decision. And the bat goes flying. And the count goes to 0-2, so hopefully everybody is okay. After being handcuffed all day on just 2 doubles, a dramatic 3-run homer off the bat of Dan Viciedo, giving him 8 and 27 in the power numbers. He got him. They'll make the throw to first. And the inning is over, but not before the Sox score 3. They take the lead, and we head into the bottom of the 7th inning. Sox on top, 3-2. fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to hashtag Chicago Fan Photo for a chance to be shown on our broadcast, brought to you by AT&T.
Kawasaki will lead it off. He's 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out to short. Breaking ball strike. 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors for our guys. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors for their guys. We have stranded 1. They have stranded 6.
Although he hasn't shown it, you would think Kawasaki would be thinking about a bunt.
3 or 4 times.
He hasn't been able to do much with Chris.
Yeah, you would think he would be thinking almost every at bat. And there's a little chopper, soft chopper to Hopper. One out. And here is Reyes. Twice he has gone out to Adam Eaton's center, also struck out.
Only 3 hits so far. Chris has walked 5, but he has the lead for the first time today.
And that ball hit hard but foul.
That was a changeup, and he's had Reyes out in front of every changeup he's thrown today.
And that was pitch number 103.
Straight change, hooked it foul. Over the course of Reyes' career, lifetime .290 hitter. 540 runs batted in, 441 stolen bags.
Stick it in your pocket.
Reyes took a look at this ball. You see him right there. Take a look at it. And I'm not exactly sure why he didn't just bust it down the line, but there was no way that Gillespie was going to throw him out. You might as well hold it. Only bad things can happen after that.
And we mentioned it last night. He is no small guy. He's 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. So here's Cabrera. Takes first pitch strike. Reyes also a 16 for 17 on stolen bases.
Melky is grounded into 9 double plays, 6 of them right-handed, and anything to not have to face Encarnacion this inning. Sox bullpen up and going. It looks like Javi Guerra. He was up before.
Reyes high in stolen bases, 78. 2007. Okay. Rack 'em up. And that'll retire the side. So Encarnacion will not hit this inning, and we lead it 3-2. 8th inning. It'll be Flowers, Garcia, then back to the top of the order with Adam Eaton. And before a crowd of 39,623 on just a magnificent day here in beautiful Toronto, Ontario, Canada. We have seen some good stuff on that bump this afternoon. Sale and Marcus Stroman.
And home runs have decided everything to this point. 2-run homer by the Blue Jays. 3-run homer by our Sox. Viciedo getting a hanging breaking ball. And Mastroianni getting a straight change. The third in a row in the same at bat. So home runs, as they did last night, provide all the runs for the Sox.
Tyler has struck out and fouled out. To Encarnacion at first. Outfield straight up. Bunch just a bit. One ball, one strike to Flowers. Tighten him up. Tighten him up right here, Tyler. Stay on top of him. Two balls, two strikes. Once again, a reminder tomorrow, finale of this 4-game series and this 11-game road trip. Tomorrow, Jose Quintana against Mark Burley. And that game will be over WGN. And then on what has seemingly felt like a month-long road trip, we will come home after the game tomorrow night. We will have 3 starting Monday with the Angels, off day on Thursday, and then 3 with Seattle. So make your plans to be with us. 1 out. And here comes Garcia. Leary 0 for 2, a couple of strikeouts. Also make your plans to get on your Mac or your iPad. Vote for Brayu and also Alexa. Try to make sure takes the bunt. Got to try to make sure to get them to Target Field in Minneapolis for the All-Star game. That's chop foul. And let's take a look at the All-Star most current totals. Alexei, as he should, sitting in good shape. Just off the outside corner. Start us off right here, Leary, with 1 out.
Adam Eaton back in the lineup, missing just the one game, and he's hit the ball hard, but hit it right at Reyes twice and lined it to Mastroianni the other time.
Yeah, he's barreled it up 3 times. Ball hit sharply. Kawasaki. So 2 down. And we'll take a moment. Wish my great friend and my little brother, Jim Angio, who we've been together for so long now, a very happy birthday. He's one of the best that ever was in the business of directing and television and production of baseball games. And happy birthday, Jimmy, and many more, buddy. That's down and in. That ball hit sharply off the glove, so that's going to be a base hit.
Four times in a row he hit it as well as you can hit it. Encarnacion does a nice job. I think Adam was kind of hoping that one would sneak through so he wouldn't have to bust it down the line, but he did.
Keep it going, Gordon. Gordon 0 for 3. Outfield now spread out a little bit for Beckham. Two another count. McGowan, 32 years old, 6'3", 240 pounds. Born in Savannah, Georgia, now resides in Tallahassee. When he first came up, he looked like he was going to be some kind of world beater.
Unfortunately, he had Tommy John surgery in 2004. That one he came back from very well, but then partially torn rotator cuff surgery in 2008. That was in the middle of the year.
There's a solid single back through the middle. Adam will pull up at second.
That fastball right down the middle without a whole lot of movement, and Gordon takes advantage of it. So that's going to be it for McGowan. He will depart. So as Gibbons takes the long stroll out, we'll step out and be back after these messages. mound for the 37th time, so he's been a very busy man. In fact, he leads this staff in appearances. We saw him in last night's game. He pitched an inning, gave up a hit, struck out 2.
So Alexei is going to hit for Gillespie. Two on, 2 out. Outfield, for the most part, straight up. Just a small gap in left center. Looks at first pitch and takes it for a strike.
Normally, you'd think a sidearm left-hand pitcher would be a whole lot easier for right-hander to face because you're seeing the ball all the way.
Count evens at 1. And there's a base hit. So Alexei's going to get it done as Adams going to come around and score. And it's a 4-2 Sox lead. Attaboy, Alexei.
Alexei had a 2-run homer last night in the 7th inning. That proved to be the margin of victory, and he drives home another run. So the sidearm left-hander, and a good move by Robin to put Alexei in, makes it a 2-run lead.
And they did not have a right-hander ready for Abreu. He started off that 3-run 7th with 2 outs by hitting a double into left center field. Four 6-0 for our guys, 2-4-0 for their guys. Here in Game 3 of this 4-game set. Two and 0. Adam Dunn on deck. So we'll see what they want to do with Abreu. A double by Abreu last inning. Now 13-game hitting streak. Change up. And so far, all 4 of our runs coming with nobody on and 2 out.
That's good. And the last one driven in was the first run the last 2 days, not via the home run.
Full count. Shot. Reyes up with it, now goes over to first base. And that'll retire the side, but a key base hit by Alexei Ramirez knocks in our 4th run, and we lead it by 2.
New pitcher, so Chris Sale goes 7. Gives up a couple of runs on 4 hits. And Javi Garrett comes into this one. He's got a 2-run lead to protect on for the 12th time. His ERA 2.45. And the 16 Ks in 14 2/3, showing you just how good that overhand curveball is when he gets it over the plate. Lexi Ramirez stays in the game at his familiar shortstop position. And that slides Leary Garcia over to third.
Curveball strike. And Robin has said earlier there is no definitive name to put in the closer role at this point in time. He's hoping somebody will step up to do it. Steve likes Petrichka. And I like Guerra, only because of the fact that he's had 21 saves for the Dodgers in the past, and that experience means an awful lot. Now, Jake's got as good of stuff, if not even maybe just a touch better. But that experience, I think Jake is definitely going to be a closer. I don't think there's any question about that.
I think right now, as illustrated by the fact that there's 2 guys throwing in the bullpen, Robin is just looking for situation matchups that he can use and try to make the most of it.
Yeah, well, that's what he's got to do at this point. That was a Leary stays with it. The ball almost took him in the left field. He got a rolling curveball and just absolutely destroyed it.
Well, Leary, a pretty lucky man, because it probably came out of some of the shirts on a very bright sunny day. A line drive rocket. And it was hooking right in the middle of his face. Knocked the glasses off, but he made the catch.
Oh boy, that ball was absolutely killed. And here's Navarro. He's 0 for 2. Looped out to Beckham and fouled out to Beckham, and also a walk.
Surkamp, the left-hander, and Putnam, the right-hander.
I don't think they want to mess around with Putnam too much at all in that setup spot. He's been doing such a great job.
No, I don't think he's going to be in the mix.
No.
In the closer.
No.
Because he's gotten the job done almost each and every time, either in the 7th or 8th inning. And if that guy doesn't get the job done, then the closer becomes a non-factor.
That's right. They won't mess with that situation. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, and that's fine. Sometimes you can take a guy out of the 7th inning where he's accustomed to, or the 8th inning where he's accustomed to, move him up one, and it just doesn't work out. We've seen that on our club in the past.
There's a few folks in this game have seen that a number of times.
Yep. 2-1 pitch, and that's going to be a souvenir. Morrow cutting and slashing up there. Count hangs at 2-2. 4 runs on 6 hits for us. 2 runs on 4 hits for them. The only thing about Javi at this point, it's hard fastball, hard curveball.
That means you better hit your spots,
right,
because you're not going to fool them with any variance in velocity.
Right. And you better pick the right spot. And another souvenir.
Well, if Bautista was healthy at all, we would probably see him as a pinch hitter for Glenn. And Glenn is in the on-deck circle.
Full count. They don't need any walks. They can hit his way on. So 1 out, 1 on.
And Adam Lind will come out now, and we'll see if that means Surkamp. Lynn came out last night as a pinch hitter in the bottom of the 9th inning. Hit what might have been game-ending double play. It was not fielded. Fortunately, it only opened the door for one more run being scored, and the Blue Jays came up short.
So now they're going to take a little time here for maybe Surkamp, who's already been throwing. He should be ready if, in fact, they're going to bring him in.
Jim Reynolds wants to break this up on the mound, knowing that all this is a way for the pen to get a couple more pitches. Lynn hitting .340, 4 for 9 with 3 driven in as a pinch hitter.
And here comes Robin. So this will be the 3rd straight day that Surkamp, if he brings him in, will have worked. And he wants he wants the left hand. So Adigera departs. Surkamp comes on, and we'll be back.
being recalled. Numbers in Charlotte, 3-4. The ERA a little above 4.5. 2 games up here with the big club. 1 in the 3rd innings, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. And he did face Lynn last night. He got the ground ball out of him on a 3-2 pitch.
That was a hard ground ball.
It was, and he got a hit early and then kept on trying to nip the corner with the breaking ball. Finally, Lynn worked it to a full count. And here he is again.
So here's the 30-year-old out of Muncie, Indiana, Adam Lynn. He was 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs in the first game. Takes first pitch strike. Chops that one foul, so he jumps that on top very quickly. 0-2. Outfield spread out there deep, as they should be. He gone. 2 down.
Good breaking ball. He got ahead. He kept it out of the zone. No chance at all for Lind, who doesn't face left-handers very often. Now here comes Robin. And he had a choice. Surkamp against Tollison, or go to the bullpen again. Putnam against probably, you would think it would be Francisco. So as Zach Putnam walks in, we'll step out and be back after these messages. Sixth time, 2-1 record, 2.10 ERA. We saw Putnam last night. He pitched an inning, gave up a hit, struck out 2, and he pitched the 8th inning, got out of it. Now he's going to face a pretty strong man in Juan Francisco.
Well, he's 6'2", 250. Got 12 home runs this year. Last year with Atlanta and Milwaukee, he had 18 home runs. So here we go. Two out. Bottom of the eighth. We lead at 4-2. Takes high and wide ball one. They got a shift on. Leary, the only man on the left side of the infield, outfield, they're for the most part straight up and spread out and deep. Bit of a gap out there in left center. Big hack, no contact to even the count at 1. And the count 1-2. Cues it, and he can't get there. Right off the end of the bat. So now runners at the corners. That's too bad.
Pretty good pitch, and he doesn't get much of it, but hits it in a perfect spot. And Leary just out of his reach. So runners at the corners. And a dead low ball hitter in Colby Rasmus, who does have some big power.
And here comes Coop.
He's just going over the scouting report just in case Putnam might not know exactly how they want to work him. And you have a choice. You can go with your strength. In the case of Putnam, that's the splitter and that's down. You can go at the hitter's weakness, and that would be up to Rasmus.
Well, it is game after game after game. Game after game after game.
They're all close.
Game after game.
And a play or two will determine the outcome. They went to the hitter's weakness and went to the high fastball first pitch.
Rasmus has walked twice and struck out. There's a strike, and that evens the count at 1. We got a break there. It makes no difference what part of the ballpark he hits it to. He can leave anywhere. Two and one. That's into left field. We got a man there. And that will retire the side. So we'll go to the ninth, still leading 4-2.
game, and he is their closer. He's 2-0 this year. The ERA 1.13 on for the 18th time. 12 of 14 in save opportunities. This is not one of them. And last year, he was named the Jays Pitcher of the Year. He had 34 saves and just a miraculous season. Juan Francisco stays in the game after his pinch hit. He'll play third, but in the shift for Adam Dunn, he goes over and plays basically second base.
Adam has been a big man in the scheme of things here. He picked up our first hit, a double in the second inning. Then he walked to lead off the fifth. That didn't mean anything. But the big walk in the seventh inning, it went around him to get to Tank, and he unloaded on him.
That was the first man that McGowan faced. He hung a breaking ball and paid the price.
Here's the bullet over the head. Kawasaki. So a good game, big game right here for the big man.
Just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And here's our Miller moment. A hanging breaking ball. It was 2-0 at the time, and a no-doubter. Made it 3-2. Sox defense made it 4-2, but that was our Miller moment.
Up the middle and into center field for a base hit. So the first two men aboard. Don't stop now, boys. And that'll bring up Alejandro. Alejandro's 0 for 3. He's due. But on the other side of that page, he's faced Casey Jansen 5 times, and he's 0 for 5. Corners in close. Takes ball 1. A lot of teams stopped doing it. Quick step off so you see what the hitter's what he's going to do.
Used to see that a lot.
Oh, it was routine. I mean, it was routine. Sure gives your, in this case, especially your first baseman. Now we're going to have a pinch runner for our Tank. It'll be Moises Sierra. Four 8-0 for us, 2 5-0 for them. Here in the top of the 9th inning. Way outside, 2-1. Flowers on deck. Leary Garcia in the hole.
And you got to get your closer that inning in a non-save situation. But the problem is, because of the complete difference in adrenaline between coming in to save one and not, more times than not, they wind up giving up a run or two.
I hope that's the case here. And that is foul by about 4 feet. Two and two the count to Alejandro Diaz. Way back when this game started, there was some outstanding ability on that bump. We had our Chris Sale. They had their Marcus Stroman, little right-hander who has got outstanding talent.
What a pitcher's duel. Chris gave up the 2-run homer, and that was all he gave up. And Stroman didn't give up a home run.
And there's a base hit. So they're going to have to hold Adam at third, and that'll load him up with nobody out. Well, Marcus Stroman did, if you're just tuning in, retired 20 of the first 22 hitters he saw.
Maybe a year from now, John Gibbons will allow him to pitch out of those situations, but he went to McGowan, and McGowan just didn't make a pitch. Time now for the AT Uverse Multiview. Terrific speed at first and second.
So the infield in. Tyler 0 for 3. A couple of strikeouts and a foul out to first. Big pitch taken for a ball. Boy, in this situation, huge difference. 1-0 versus 0-1.
Helped him out right there because that was a fastball up and out of the zone.
In the dirt. Now reverts back advantage. Flowers. Can't help him out though, Tyler. High. Mastroianni. He's got to play. Gets it back in. And one out.
There's no way that Adams going to tag up on this. Especially everything coming forward from Mastroianni. All he's got to do is one hop it.
Well, you won't even think about it with
Nope.
nobody out. With one out, you might give it a thought, but still not on that play. So here we go with Leury. Leury 0 for 3. He's due. Fouls it away left side. Now field is shortened up for Leury. One and one to count. Stay on it, Leury. Keep pulling off the ball. You don't have to hit it that hard. up until the 7th inning. If you're just tuning in, we only had 1 hit. We've had 8 of our 9 hits in the last 3 innings. 2 in the 7th, 3 in the 8th, and 3 so far here in the 9th. Back to the 1, 2, and 3. Well, bases loaded, nobody out. We have seen that several times on this road trip, and we can't cross home plate. Meanwhile, we'll go to the bottom of the 9th, leading 4-2.
Aimed defensively and right. And Zach Putnam still in the ball game. So at least for the moment, and that doesn't mean that it's going to work out this way, but for the moment he's going to be asked to close it down.
Well, Robin said in his pregame comments that as it stands right now, he's going to use whoever he thinks in this particular game at this particular time against whoever to win a ball game. That's who he's going to use.
Well, it's going to be Ghost pinch hitting for Mastroianni here to lead off the 9th inning. He had a base hit last night in the 9th and a base hit in the first game.
He can run. So the corner's in close. Takes ball 1. Count evens at 1.
Good splitters will make a hitter do just that. Because that ball looks like a fastball till the last instant and then drops in the dirt. And Ghost is in a hole.
Well, for the most part, what it does for the hitter is it makes you pull off the ball. Because you see it when it starts to go down, you pull off of it. Count hangs at 1-2. And once again, a reminder, if you're just joining us, tomorrow in the finale of this road trip, Jose Quintana against Mark Burley. And that game will be over WGN. And after the game, we'll return home Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday against the Halos. Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Full count. That's fair ball. Just fair. Wow.
In an effort to get it over, looks like Zach went to the fastball, and Manny Gonzalez said, yes, indeed. Over the bag, and goes with his 4th double of the year and a big pinch hit.
That'll bring up Kawasaki. Strikeout, grounder to short, and a grounder to second. And there's a base hit in the center field. 4-3 ball game.
And for those of you who might believe that outs 25, 6, and 7 are the same at any of the outs that precede it, you would be wrong. They're not. And there's not a whole lot of guys that can get them. That's why it is such a tough job.
The biggest killer of performance is pressure.
No more pressure for any pitcher coming out of that pen than trying to get the last 3.
The biggest killer is pressure. So here's Reyes. He's won before.
Sox bullpen up and going. Jake Petrichka throwing in the pen.
Good lead by Kawasaki. He has yet to attempt a stolen base this year. It's one of the biggest evils about not having a definitive closer. When you don't have, and you're going to go by committee like we're starting to do. He said he's going to go. Everybody has to get up more. Return. Can't get it.
Unfortunately, probably anybody on this team but Jose Reyes, and you turn 2 there. And now you have your best base stealer in a situation where they need a stolen bag. Good play by Abreu. Gets it to throw. Lexi with a big strong arm coming back, but Reyes is just too fast.
So here's Cabrera. Nokia is struck out, looped out to right, grounded to short, and hit it into a 4-6-3 double play. Into right field. Moises is there, makes the catch. 2 down. And the way Abner designed it. Here he comes. And here comes Robin. Encarnacion with 25 homers and 65 knocked in. I would say he may have gone out there, said, Zach, look me right in the eye and tell me you can get this guy. Edwin is 1 for 2 today with a couple of walks. Last time up, he almost took Leury Garcia into left field with a line drive.
Well, Leury is well back at third. He's right on the line. Not going to allow anything to get between him and the line. Nice stop by Tyler Flowers, making sure that Reyes can advance. Splitter, and a good job of keeping the tying run off second.
1-0 the count with 2 out here in the bottom of the ninth. $39,623. You've seen an exciting ball game. I wouldn't throw him a cookie here.
Well, you got to figure their leading home run hitter would be given the green light. Threw him a splitter, which is his best pitch.
Well, you got to throw him your best pitch in that situation, even if you walk. All right, this ball game is over. So Zach Putnam comes on and gets the job done as our Sox take game 3. They win it 4-3, and I'll tell you what an exciting ball. We're having nothing but exciting ball games.
No, this one was a dandy, and Chris Sale went 7 innings. He only gave up 4 hits. It's a great comeback after that game in Baltimore. So Chris was Chris today. He walked a little bit more than he would have, but boy, he was tough, and the long ball came into play once again, and 2 out of 3 here heading into tomorrow is not bad.
And that'll be Jose Quintana against Mark Burley. But right now, let's check out our GMC player of the game. It is Diane Viciedo, the tank, with that big 3.